Okay, this is the Unpickable lock design by Works by Design. The audio went terribly wrong in this video, so I'm doing a voiceover because it was terrible. So you can see the lock works. Get the bolt out. You see it's stuck out there. So now it's time to pick it. We're going to start with the linear tension, where you try to push everything inward to get the first phase. Right, so I'm just using a kind of wiper blade style insert there, coming in with a pick in 0.6 millimeter or roughly 23 to 25 thousandths of an inch, and just feeling around for what I can detect there. You wouldn't be hearing much anyway. It sounds just kind of mushy in there because of the design of this lock. But just going through pin by pin and seeing what I can feel. The feedback is pretty muted, right? And that's very much by design, and it's a pretty clever lock design for that. You can check out the Works by Design YouTube channel to get a lot more information about this. But what I'm doing is just going over and over all of those pins that are there, seeing to feel if I can anything set, and getting those sort of incremental changes in the condition of lock until it does the sort of first set, which is straight back. And that's where you force the there's a spring in the back that forces the whole I guess you would call it pin pack, maybe in this case, forward. And once we get that, we can start trying to rotate it. There, you can see I've gotten the whole pack to shift backwards a little bit, and now I need to start trying to apply some rotation. I'll try to keep my hand out of the way, and then going again, once again over all of those little pins. I think there are 9 pin stacks in this case that interact not directly with springs, but with a pool of BBs, or little ball bearings, which makes it really difficult to tell what any individual pin state is. So I just keep going through the pin stack, poking at things, trying to get any kind of sense for motion, right? And not motion of the individual pins. You can get that, all kinds of that. It's motion of the core around it. It starts to feel a little bit like picking tapered pins, because I could feel just a little tiny increment as it got closer and closer to being set. It takes a fair amount of force to try to work with this, because it does have that really strong spring in the back. And of course the feedback is muted both by the BBs in there and for another sort of anti-picking feature he has, where when you push it back from the front like this, there are some sort of rods that come up and interact with the key pins, preventing them from giving you clear direct feedback. There you see it. There you can see the bolt from the lock recede. And now it's picked. Very interesting design, innovative for certain. In terms of being practical, who knows? But that wasn't the point, right? His point was, how can I make an unpickable lock? And it's certainly very different, and it's certainly a different kind of challenge. You can see there's the key there. It uses a standard Schlage SC1 blank. He's got about, I think, 9 pins that ride on that, and it makes it maybe more difficult to decode, because it's harder to tell exactly where everything's landing. And he included these cards with it. So you can see card 1, there's sort of a breakdown of the overall lock, where it shows the sections. Here you can see that the pin stacks and all the ball bearings that cause the pins to sort of interact with each other. And that's a feature I don't think I've really seen before, that interaction between the two of them. So that, again, prevents you from getting direct feedback on any one given pin. definitely makes it an extra challenge. And the anti-tension bearing in the back is also causes a little more challenge in terms of picking. Here I'm switching to the next page. Again, I wish I knew exactly what I was saying here. There's that spring-loaded core. I think he said it puts about 10 pounds of pressure, so it's no light-duty thing. Here he's got the operations, and at the bottom you can see a lock will only function when oriented straight up and down, and I think that's because of those that pool of ball bearings. Right. I'm not sure exactly what it would do if that were upside down, but it might not even unlock because everything would just sort of fall down and you'd have the key pins blocking everything. So anyway, you'd have to operate it and pick it facing straight up and down. There can be disassembled a little bit, but I opted not to do any gutting because it's not going to do anybody any good. But you can see a really great detail of design, disassembly, and reassembly on the Work by Design YouTube channel. And Georgia Jim had this lock first and picked it, and he does the partial disassembly. Anyway, this is a really cool and interesting design of a lock by Works by Design, and there it is.